Rules is rules for everyone. Understood?
Yeah, okay. It's my screen share.
Take screen share first and then you proceed yourself. Madhu?
Yeah, I'm asking that, sir. Actually, screen share and the visible avatledu. So I asked, is it shared or not?
Oh. Record. Keep it.
Share your screen and then you proceed yourself. Continue the session.
Just keep it.
Now is it?
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Names, everything wrote. Keep it. Why you want all those things? Stop everything.
Yeah. Now we'll go with the bootstraps and Django content where we use the HTML. So here I'll be showing you the this page. Yeah. Now we'll go with a simple registration page which we use often. This is a registration page in the Bootstrap and Django format. So here we use mostly in Django we use the bootstraps and how to connect with the Django bootstraps. So the first line here, the percentile load static. This indicates the creation of a folder. This indicates the starting generation of the absolute URLs and the static files creation of a folder will be indicated with this percentile load static percentile. So this is mandatory when we write a bootstrap in Django. HTML code in Django. As we write the tags, mandatory tags like HTML, body, head, and tag. This is a important, and just think this is the creator to the template folder starting. So this is a creator to starting the folder templates of a static project. Here in this, the HTML is taken, header file. Yeah, HTML header, and here meta character set. What is meta? I think everyone know what is meta in HTML, whereas meta is an information used to tell the searching and viewing sites information of an content. It gives an information which we want and what the content we want. So we use meta. In this meta, we have given the titles and viewpoints, content, width, size, same as in, whereas when we compare this Django with an HTML, we use a meta in styles and we give a meta data type, viewpoint, width, content, initializations and everything in style sheets. Here, just in heading, we are giving the meta and the title. Here, the link href. Everywhere href is used for the linking of one page to other. Wherever we take like HTML, Bootstraps, Django, CSS codes, everywhere the coding href is used for the linking of pages. So here in this href, we have linked the page of CSS. This is a CSS page which is linked to it so that there is no need of creating a separate CSS style. The main theme of CSS is that to create a style, styling the page. Here in this linking href, there is no need of creating a separate CSS style. It is linked in this way. There is no need of writing it separately. It is linked in this way as a URL. Whereas everyone here, I have used the HTML style sheets in meta in HTML style, where we write meta style viewpoint style is equals to style sheets. In this style sheets, we'll be having the fonts, font sizes, designings, borders, and everything is in this HTML style sheets. So we are linking this style sheet. Sorry, actually, am I audible to everyone? There is a disturbance with me, so
Yes, ma'am, it's audible.
yeah, okay. Actually, I have some disturbances, so if I'm not, just ping me in the message box so that I'll be clear. And after linking this website, after linking this bootstraps and main pages, now we are coming to this creation of body. Uh, Not only in HTML, in Django also I will be writing the HTML code. The main theme of saying HTML in your projects is you have to be perfect. You have to be more professional in HTML so that it is used in Django. Django projects everywhere will be used with an HTML codes. In HTML, we're not only we are having the HTML codes, we also be having the JavaScripts. As I said in the morning session, I have said in somewhere like search bar JavaScript. Like we'll be using the JavaScripts also in HTML codes, uh, so that we can we can design our page more flexibly. In Django also you'll be using the HTML code, as now we are using in the body after linking to the bootstraps, after linking the CSS and bootstrap side sheets. Now we are using the body HTML code. So here in the bodies, what is this? What class name is given? Class is defined, and then get navigation. See, all these styles are linked here. Whereas in the morning session, I have given the class name and I have shown you the morning style. But I'll be showing the page once again. Mm. Yeah. In the morning session, here I have written the class and I have been showing you in this style sheets what are the styles I have made and what are the designs I have made, what is the background, what is the position, and everything what I have made. I was writing the body here and I was showing this in the front, in the above part, in style part. Whereas in this Django process, the HTML codes, we have already linked the style sheet to this HTML page. Style sheet is already linked to this page so that the every style sheet is linked to that, and the designing part in the body will be making here, and the styles part will be designing from this styles page. Here the navigation class is a nav bar, and the class nav bar is taken, and the button navigation button, button type and toggle type. Morning I have said your button type is text type and all that. Spanning. I think most of you already know these words in HTML. So once again, I'm just recollecting it. What spanning is nothing but it generates the inline content of an element. inline content of an element is done. So the inline content we need is here navigation content. Here we was writing here a class of navigation bar, so that we need a nav bar. We were writing this. So for this, nav bar toggles and icons are here. This span class will give us inline containers of that elements. And next is division class. Division class, as usual, we know that we'll be dividing the classes that according to our requirements. And ul class is unordered class. In this unordered class, in the morning session have said you this. Wait, I'll be showing you news about and contact. We got this like this with this dotted marks, with this bullet. Sorry, these are bullets, not dots. With these bullets, when we have given them in this ordered list, unordered list, and this ordered list is given with this. So here in this unordered list, and the list is given of the items. List of items are defined, but it is defined in the nav page link. So that nav page link. This nav page link again it's given here in this class. The class is taking the nav bar. So in this again, this nav bar will be now attached to these bootstraps. So overall, in this Django process, we are not writing the whole code or not designing the whole thing. We are just using the things as per our needs. As I say, for an example, like you and your friend are making the same, like your friend are making the project, and you required some requirements, and she required some requirements, and both of your requirements has few common points. Like you both need a laptop, a web page, and a login and a registration form for your pages. Like for your project, login is mandatory, first registration is mandatory. So these are the common things which you both need for your projects. So for these common things, we are taking a link so that these common things can be placed between you both. If one prepare a login and one prepare a registration page, both the pages can be linked in both of your laptops, so that you both can do at a time simultaneously. Of course, we can do it, but we can do it when it is dynamic. I have been mentioning this dynamic and static from the morning session, because static is totally different from dynamic. See, your projects, every project is a static project. Here in this every Django project, we will be taking these links, like these common links, like style sheet links and css links, and we'll be taking this link and we'll design our designing part as we need. If we need a navigation bar, we'll be taking a navigation list, or else if we need a container bar, we'll be taking the container bar, or else if we need any like bootstraps css, we'll be taking the bootstraps link, and we'll be generating all the designings of bootstraps in that. So here we mostly take all the links for our needs, and we'll be generating everything. This makes a lot of difference from HTML and Django. HTML is that designing in your own way and in your own like flow. You should be in a flow, like after this, after this, and after this you have to make this. But whereas coming to Django, if we design a page by using that, we'll be seeing an output. After that output, if you want to do anything, you just add a link to that, so that you just add a link to that also, it will be generated. It makes the work simplest from HTML, whereas the C makes work C++ make work simple in C, same as the Django makes work simple in HTML. Just a comparison. It's not that I'm giving the class about C and C++. Just I'm comparing the words. Comparison makes more clarity, right? So I'm comparing the words and statements. So here, in this, again, we have completed here up to here, the nav courses, the nav bars, nav toggles, and everything has been completed till here by just linking the nav links. Here, nav link, here. The URL often courses link. Here we are taking the URL. As I said you, this is a creation.
What I'm thinking, if
Writing like this is a creating a form or creating a page like this or starting with that or getting started with that. So writing like this is a creating. So we have created here.
if you can
We have created here. Whereas a simple word is in a simple word. Whereas when we write the database DBMS SQL, we'll be writing create means create a table name. Same as like this. Writing this is creating. Writing this, you need a login. So login. You need a courses. So courses like this. Whatever you need, you'll be writing like this. You'll be taking like this. When we compare this with Java, in Java we'll write import this, import Java package, Java util, Java this and that. Import will write same as in way will write like this. It's not importing, it's just taking. When we compare it with inter, TK inter,
you can write it now.
it will write there also will be writing from importing from this and this TK inter or that this like this will be writing. These are the things which we need to specify in Django. These are the things we need to do importing, like taking from
Why? Because you
them
want
or
for this,
creating from it.
I
Creating
thought
from
output,
it. Next.
that is
Up to here, we have completed what all the navigations we need. Next, post. We are sending with a method called post. So here we are posting the data. Here the division class is when the class of changeable class, and here the name, changeable class and name. Here once again, this is name.
oh,
Home. I'll be showing you this with output once again. Sorry, here we are here in the nav bar. We have given the home, registration, login, and courses. Right? Those are here. Home, registration, login, and courses. These are the nav bars. And next coming to the division part, as I have given of with a form method. With a form method here in this form, what I have needed first. I'm writing the form with a color of RGBA, red, green, blue color with a class changeable, and here I want name. First one is. So see here, the name is printed. Name. And then next after this, as I said you, ampersand NBSP. Ampersand NBSP is used for the spacing. Space between the words. We don't get the space between the words with a count like font space is equals to 20. We won't be getting any space in between that. So word to word spacing is written in NBPS. It's mandatory and this is only the one which we write. From this, after that here, we want span is closed, and then we want this. What is this? Form name. We just want this form name and it has been printed. And it should be in order, so have taken the NBSP with a count so that all will be at a same position. If we are taking this in the table format, like table, and inside the table data and everything, it will be in the table format. But we don't want that because the table is the thing which will be done in the lower sessions or lower classes. Now, for the better improvement, we are using Django, not using the HTML. We are using Django. So Django, actually, sorry, it's not Django. It's a Django. By default, we are spelling it as Django, but it's a Django. So in this Django, for this spacing, I have used this Anderson NBSP and I have printed this. what I want, I have printed that form action. Same as in the same way, for the next color RGBA I have given, and the class is changeable class, and the next word is password. I want password, so I have given password. I have given the word password. Next, in that password, I need form. After closing the span, I need form password as an output. So I have given this form password. Done with that word. And next, span style. Now span inline comment, same color RGBA, and this changeable. Next, I want as email, and next is mobile.
No,
I have taken this 4, so that 4 are
okay. No, here many are they are working as a
name, password, email, and mobile. These 4 have been taken to this.
2 lakhs
Next,
one day, okay, na, sir?
class hello.
Okay.
This is the class hello. Button class, button is success, submit. So if we are successful, then it should be submitted. That should be in the form of a button, but actually this design, this Django version is code is not with the my version, my laptop version. So it's not applying you as a button, but it is a button. Submit is a button.
Okay. ठीक है, sir.
And I have closed it, and I also close the form. As the before, I have used it a form post method. So now I'm closing the form post method. Now script. Scripting is mandatory in Django for the bootstraps, because we are not using the CSS for writing and writing in a head.
You guys having an option now.
So just
Anyhow, you are writing.
we are linking
Afternoon
in
you write.
CSS. Scripting is mandatory in Django.
You both will cover what.
Now for this, script src is html.net.npm. This is in a JavaScript, and here why JavaScript? Here there will be a question raised in everyone mind that we already use the CSS. Why we are using the JavaScript? Here the every page, it doesn't only take the CSS styles, it also takes the Java styles, JavaScripting styles. As for sliders, as before for sliders, where I have said you before class, the sliders class, it has taken the JavaScript. For what we have done for the slider, just we have given the for loops, if clauses, and the variable definition. Why we have done that?
On same day.
Because there in that
You will get.
slider, for loop is taken, because if
No. What else?
if the initialization is done and it is increased, and then it is checked the my index I have taken, so my index plus plus I have given, so this my index plus plus is like is taken in. If that works, then it should be changed to other picture. It should be changed to other picture. If not, else there should be a blank.
100 marks.
So it has done like that. It has taken the for loop and it has checked with it condition, initialization, and everything. It checked with that. It has been passed it, and next it has been passed to if clause. Whereas in the if clause, it my index plus plus is a class we have taken in the if. So in that if class, if that is worked and it is taken as the other picture, if not, it will initializations, it has been worked and it is rotating. In the main thing in the for loop we have done is setting a time seconds. I have set it for 2 seconds. You can set it for how many minutes you want. That is written in the Java. Here in this also, whereas the password, email, subject, and everything submit, everything is done, and everything is in JavaScript. There is nothing that it is not in the sorry, but everything is in link process. Just everything is linked process, not manual process. Like every time you have to change it, every time you have to do it, or every time you have to take it, or every time you have to utter it. Not like that. For this project, will for doing a static project, we will. I think you all know how to do a static project. So in that static view, settings
But then when you mid
and admin, this will be default when we run a command prompt static page sample page. In that pages, if you see, the view page will be empty because we have to link all the links of a pages what we want to view there in our project. So before doing that, we have to complete our designing part. For that designing part, we'll do like this in bootstraps. The Django work will be doing that in this type of bootstraps. So that we'll be taking a links or we'll be creating here as we do here.
without wasting time, we should come.
As we do percentile URL dot cursor, now here we have been created a page for this. So you have to complete the completion in that page where you have created. So that what the content you want when we click on, that content will be moved there.
SE. SE, second year you're talking about. Second year, I think from 22nd. Tomorrow is last exam for second years. After that, next week. From Monday, to. For that reason, I'm saying.
What happened, Madhu?
Again. Which exam?
Actually, it's just internet problem. That's the reason I'm not
That is okay. If it is
able to reach
Yes,
simultaneously.
yes. Conclude it fast.
Yeah, okay.
We'll see. If it is not there,
Oh, okay. So that here the Java helps us a lot for the creation, for the scripting, and for completing our pages with some effective loops and clauses. For every loops and clauses, we'll be using the JavaScripts, which are not included in the CSS scripts. We think that HTML page only need a CSS and styles so that we can do the front end page very effectively. Yeah, we'll be doing the front end page very effectively with the HTML and CSS style sheets, but to I've done with Java. Yeah, that's right.
sir. If sir is available, if it is
Same as yesterday, I have done with the login page also. Here also, I'll be just showing you what you have done.
okay, sir.
What you have
2 labs,
done.
sir, 2 labs.
Okay.
11 students each lab.
Just in 5 minutes, I'll be completing this. So here, same as the first creation. The first creating is a load static. Creation is done, and next we are using the style sheets of CSS, main CSS sheets. This is done with bootstraps, and next style sheets is connected to style sheets. Link rel style sheet is done. Next, coming to the body, in this body also we have given the class name, and the navigation bar, and the navigation. See here, navigation bar and the navigation explosives, navigation toggles, span. Now span, navigation toggle icon. Here, what are the navigations we need? That here we are taking. Span is that I said you that it takes the inline container. So what are the inline containers that we need? That will be taking, but where we need in this navigation. So we have mentioned this here, and next collapsing this. Next, navigation bar, nav. Now coming to this output, I'll show you the output. What are all we need is home, registration, login, and cursor. So see here, navigation bar activation. So now we will activate this navigation bar. In this, we'll be linking href home page is linked. Your registration page is linked. Login page is linked. Courses page is linked by nav item activity. We have linked all these pages, and next linking these pages with a list and unordered list. Ordered list and unordered list of these pages is linked, and they have been closed, and the navigation is closed, and the division is also closed. Here now I'm using the form of post. This is also the post is nothing but using the form of post is nothing but we are not linking the data, we are giving the data, we are giving the input data, so we are posting the data. So we are using the method of form is post. Post method is used, container is taken, and spanning is done. Spanning is done as usual in RGB, red blue color. Here the spanning we need username, and this username we need form, and this username we need form, and here also password and form is done. We have completed with that, and next class other class is taken, and here I have linked with an login. If that button is successful, login button has to be displayed. So if I have done everything is right, then we'll go to login. If we click the login button, then it will be logged. And here the JavaScripts at last, as I said you before, the JavaScripts are used for the designing of an scripting part, excluded excluded with CSS, where the content of CSS is not there. There it will be taking the JavaScript content. So this is the content of that JavaScript. Exclusion of CSS is called, why we write JavaScript, there will be a major question. So exclusive to CSS, the content which we need for the scripting is taken from JavaScript. So this is the thing which we have done in our login page and registration page, and it makes a lot of difference from a HTML. I think you have already observed. Whereas in HTML we'll write AHRE of quotations and everything. Whereas in this just we'll write a creation of URL, login, and cursor. All this. These are all URL creations.
You make it, ma'am, accordingly you make it. I'm not sure.
Yes, Madhu. Yes, enough.
That's okay, but
I'll
question should be changed.
start my session now.
Yeah, okay, sir.
Uh,
If answers are available, then okay.
yes, good afternoon, Dal. This is Bhaskar now. Yes,
Okay. You know, they are planning on coming on this Saturday, but I'm not sure. The schedule one
yes, good afternoon, all of you. Now we have to discuss about backend. So still we are discussing about patterns and what is the intention of patterns, which type of pages we have to require to backend, and here we are discussing about the three-tier architecture like what is that MVT process. So now we have to discuss how to interact the Django with users. So, for example, we are taking a small example for here.
I'll show you their number.
Yes.
That is 100 marks. 4 questions.
In Django framework.
How will you be 25 marks?
Here we will consider as a views, and here we consider as a models, and here we consider as a templates. So here the connecting interaction. The Django mainly focus on views, and then these views are connected with the models as well as templates. So this is the pattern we are used inside the Django framework based on projects and applications. So here, Django is a framework, and views are maintain these two modules. Like in this pattern, we are using models as well as templates. So we are completed this template session morning onwards. Yesterday at morning onwards. So now we have to move models. These models contain completely database content. Models content were completely database content, like what is which type of servers we are using to store the data in backend. So you understand what is that HTML files? We are using static load. Static load means we are designing the static applications in our systems. Why? Because the computer system is completely a development environment. It's not a dynamic environment. That's why we are using these static applications. In the static applications, we are using static servers only. It means what? Local servers. So we are working with local host. That's why we are using the servers are local host based servers only. When we are moving to dynamic, then the time we are using different kind of cloud environment we are using to store the data and access the data and display the data. So this database purpose, we are using MySQL content here. MySQL database, the MySQL, a different kind of servers are there actually. That servers is nothing but so MySQL, WAMP, and Postgres MySQL. A different kind of servers are there. Now we are using MySQL and WAMP here, based on the requirement and based on the content. Of course, here one of the content is there. When we are using database, we know what is that content inside, which type of commands we have. We are mostly focused on that particular commands, and what is the particular information given by the database. These are all things we have to discuss now. And well, I think this DBMS already you people are taking more knowledge on that. I know, but when I take the session, we have to give the basic onwards. So that's why I'm going to a little bit one by one. So here, yesterday we are discussing one topic, right? Yesterday we are just whatever the content we are using, that content is here directly. What is that? What are the frameworks we are designed using the command prompt, the Django frameworks? Then the time the content, the preloaded content is available already. So then the time we are using templates as well as the content. What is the forms and what is the applications we required for that particular Django framework? So that particular applications we have here, we are working with only 3 components, like views, as well as if one is views. The views content is going on like this. Is completely maintained both HTML as well as database content. And one more is what the main application is there. The main application, database connections, how to connect the database. That is also very essential. So that part also we are given that information on first day. But yesterday and today, we are taking the template process and what is the content is given, what given to the Django framework. Okay. Now, when we move to database content, so here two types of database are available in Django framework. So one is the framework support to SQLite. It's provided by Django framework only. Internal server. This is internal server to provide the content, but use MySQL backend as well as. And here, when we are using that database content, particularly when we are using database content and database tables content, different types of tables we have to design in the table. So this is a different process. So use database or own database. These two contents are including at this location. So that is the intention of this page, settings page. And next one, we are using URLs. This is very, very essential. Why? Because this Django framework completely based on URLs. Completely, is the process going on based on URLs. So this URL content created by template. That is, this URL is connected to the template. So when we run the URL, the templates will display on the monitor. That is our main application, our visualized application in our system. So these three parameters are very essential. These three parameters are views, settings, and URLs. View settings are mostly commonly we are using in this part, as well as models also we are using. Models and settings both are indicating as a database content. So yeah, when we run the project, we are creating first templates as well, and same way we create a database and database required commands, as well as database connectivity, port numbers, different kind of things we are giving here at this location. So now we have to discuss this database content. When we are going to this database content, these models are indicating database, the database content, the database, which type of parameters using in this database properly we are using in this Django framework. Actually, Django framework is completely different from previous. We have to understand that one. Why? Because this is manually we can't do anything inside. Manually you can't do anything. Whatever the frames design automatically, use this small command lines. Just execute the command lines that Django frames are created inside automatically. So that's why here when we come to the database and MySQL content, here when we are talk about MySQL content, this MySQL is playing major role to store the data and access the data and display the data. So here, moreover, mostly we are using here DDL commands. DDL commands means when we are going to the main part of the conditions, first of all, how many topics are there in database and what is the intention of database. These are all things we have to know, first thing. So that's why we are discussing a small discussion on that also. Taking so here when we come to the point MySQL, in this MySQL we have different kind of topics. First one is we are discussing about sub-languages. The sub-languages are playing more major role in this content. So here, when we discuss about sub-languages, you know well about this actually. So we are different kind of sub-languages. Here, mostly we are using 5 types of sub-languages: DQL and DCL, TCL. So these are the sub-languages we are using. Next, when we come to the next topic, it's constraints. Constraints. These constraints also, we have 5 types of constraints we are using commonly. First one, primary key. Foreign key. Foreign key, as well as not null key. And check key. Unique key. The last one is every database content. So joins are mostly 3 types of joins are there. One is equi-join, that's called as inner joins, and outer joins, as well as cross join. Union and union are cross joins. The next is one cross. Weaves also we are classified into 2 categories. The one is simple weaves and complex weaves. Complex weaves. These 2 categories we are working with weaves. Weaves also playing one of the major role in our database content. And next, when we are moved to next topic, after complete the weaves, we are discussing about stored procedures. Stored procedures. So the stored procedures are very, very essential when we're going to dynamic applications or dynamic content-based programs we are running in the systems. Then the time we are using stored procedures. It's just like a pre-compiled SQL statements. The statements are taking place as a more secureable in the database. That's why we are using this stored procedures inside. This is also another topic in the database MySQL location. And next we are going to the next topic inside the database, cursors. The cursors are also playing major role. This type of different kind of applications are using this type of cursors in database. These cursors are playing whatever the header roles attached to each content, each rows and columns. Here we header rows attached to each rows one by one. That's why it's playing major role in the database content. And one more is the last one, triggers. Triggers are playing also one of the role into database. It's taking as an action role in small cases to upper cases. So these are the major content in MySQL database content. So mostly we are working with this content only. So this information already know well, I think, but I want to introduce myself. That's why I introduced this one. So here we have to discuss one of the parties. Majorly we are discussing about sub languages main. Why? Because every database server create database compulsory. So then the time we are using this sub languages only. But in Django, when we move to Django, here is going very less content we are using in Django. Why? Because just we are taking registration process and login process only we are taking. Remaining all is completely Python programming. That's why we are taking as analysis or production, different kind of parameters we are using inside. That's why we are using main applications. So the main applications are taking place different roles inside the application. Some applications are depends on database. Some applications are depends on data sets. So that's why we are using this content. Moreover, we are using only 3 or more commands. Basically, we are using, and that's playing main role in that particular applications in Django. So here. Is it audible, everyone? Clearly? So now we have to move what is that particular content we are using here. So when we are coming to sublanguages, DDL have different commands. The commands are create, alter, drop, truncate, different types of commands are there. These commands are playing main role. Create, suppose we are taking as a create command, create table, database, whatever. And remaining alter and drop are rarely we are using based on requirement. And DML playing major role. Why? Because here the content will be going to sometimes we are taking updations, sometimes we are taking deletion, sometimes we are taking as a insert the content inside the application. That's why DML, the data manipulation language, take place as a data insertion, insert command, and data update command, and data delete command will take care about this. And here, moreover, we have to discuss very importantly what DQL, data query language. Here only one command is there. It creates a lot of commands based on this command. So that command name is select. This select is create more than 100 commands based on requirement. So that's why this operation called as a read operation. So here which type of commands majorly used in this side, where we are focused on this particular location. So here we are taking place, suppose 3 more options are there. That is called as crude operation. Crude operation is playing major role. Crude. What is this CRDU? CRDU stands for, here C stands for create command. It create a database, a DB, as well as table. DB as well as table. And one more is R. R is read operation. R is read operation. It's nothing but we call as a select command. This one. This is create a number of commands based on requirement. And U, here is the U is nothing but update. So we have to take the place any updation of tables. That purpose we are using this command. So the table content we have to take the updation. Only table content we are taking the updation here. Next, D stands for delete. So this delete command. So when we are remove the content inside the table, then the time we are using this delete command. So these 3 operations are very essential in Django framework. This is called as crude operation. So majorly we are focused on this 4 commands we are using inside the Django framework. And next we are using commands, some types of constraints we are using. What is that constraints? Primary key and foreign key. So based on table security purpose and authentication purpose, we are using some types of constraints like primary key, foreign key only. So these commands are using inside the database when we are creating the model content in the Django framework at this location. The model content is there. So models are there. This model content also belongs to some database content. How to what we created a registration page and login page. That login page content we are given like this. At this location, here we are using that particular parameters what we are insert into the registration page. We are taking place at this moment, and we run the command at the database. So this is the content we are using at the particular database MySQL location. So this MySQL is very, very essential for every Django framework project. So this framework create how to create the framework already know how to run and all those things. You know well already. First day I'll give a small demonstration. Now also I'll take that demonstration, and I'll let you know what is going on inside, how to use the templates, and how to call the templates. These are all things we have to discuss now. And before going to that, MySQL, how to install the MySQL first. MySQL backend is very essential. First of all, we are taking the versions are there. Suppose that we are taking versions based on the Python 3.7.0. When the time we are run the MySQL is 5.5.1. 5.5.5.1. So this is the MySQL content. So here we create the databases. And we create tables and whatever. So for example, here we are creating number of tables already is there. So I'll show you how to create the table and content. So here, suppose we're taking as a place to how to create the table. So when I run this command, when I run this particular whatever the content is there here, how to run this content. Suppose I'll take as a STU student. I want to create one database like details. So here we have to understand one thing here. What is the difference between MySQL and MS SQL? The MS SQL is completely taking as a normal content. There is no required for semicolons or ending the command. But here we are using ending the command semicolons compulsory. That is the difference between previous MS SQL and MySQL. This MS SQL is completely platform dependent, but MySQL is going to completely platform independent. It's working anywhere. That's why the platform dependent, independent we have called here. Here I want to create one database like details. Here student details, the student one I'll take as a whatever the details we are using here, they are taking place at this location also. Why? Because when we run the command, database command, then automatically we can use this whatever the table we have to create. When the time, then compulsory we are use this database name compulsory. So now I want to create one database here. Just see here. So I want to create one database details. So I want to run this one. The rows are affected. So here the details table database will come up now. There is no tables. So now I want to create one table here. Create one table. Like when we going to create the table, in the time we are taking place as we remove this one. Remove this one. Here use database name compulsory. Use database name. Now we have to create that particular table. Suppose I want to create table name some student one. Student table. Student. Here SID, student ID. I take as a var integer, not an issue, int, comma, s name equals to varchar. Student name is here taking as a varchar. Varchar content, I'll give you 50 characters, whatever. And next, I have to keep its ID is name and its location. Its location taking as a varchar. Taking as a 50 characters, this location, and close the main parameter, take the semicolon. So here we have to observe one thing here. When we enter into single line, we have to run the single command. When we enter into multiple lines in this location, query builder location, then the time we can run the multiple lines at these locations. The rows are affected. So here when we take the place, so the student table will be displayed on the monitor like this. So the enter the values based on the values we are giving input, then the time that is enter into the content. So that is the point we are using here, and based on basically we are using this database creations and their table creation process going on like this, well. But here, so how to use that content, how to connect the databases, and how to utilize that content to the databases, into the databases, that is the main thing we have to discuss here. So when we go to main applications like what we had discussed previously, the settings page takes place to connect the databases like directly. So here different kind of structures are there. This database, when we are using SQLite 3, it's created automatically by Django framework. So when we run the framework, then the time automatically this SQLite will be displayed on the monitor, created by its own by Django. So this is taking place as a backend. So here we are taking place as a migrations. So every applications have migrations compulsory. When we are using manual database, when we didn't use the manual database, then the time compulsory we are using server type database, different kind. But when we are using SQLite, the SQLite content this is the SQLite 3 format. We couldn't understand this content. This provide a proper storing the data access. This is one type of previous every web-based applications not provide like this. This is the separate content we are using at this location in Django framework using Python. So after complete this one, we are going to how to connect the database. The connection database are going like this. Connection database are going like this. Where it is models. Settings here. So first of all, here when we run the Django frameworks and we add the apps for this Django framework, first of all, which type of how many pages you are designed inside, how many pages you created in that framework, you add that framework at this location. Add that apps, what are the pages, paste at this location. So this is one of the important thing we have to understand, and we have to know about this adding process. And after complete this one, we have to move, have different kind of parameters. What is the parameters? When we run the application here, every application it's working as MySQL, HTTP, SSH, SSL. Different kind of connections are there. These connections are established based on that particular engine, MySQL engine. So MySQL engine is based first of all we are considered as a localhost address. So this localhost address contained IP format also. That IP address is 127.0.0.1. So it's same as well as username password is required must and should. So when we install this software, we focus on this username and password must and should at MySQL host location. And port number also one of the major issue, major role, it playing major role. So these parameters we have to insert at this location, like this database parameters. So if you are not work with local server MySQL, you don't want to paste here. If you want to use that MySQL server, definitely you have to paste this one compulsory. You are use this type of content like default engine. The engine is going to take place. MySQL is a background, and name the student, whatever the content you are given, database name. The database name has to give to here, and then username, password, host. Different kind of parameters are there. This is local host. You are prefer as a local host also, but mostly we are giving the IP address. The IP address is 127.0.0.1. So this is this content is whatever the content we have to provide here. This content can establish the connection between the front end to back end, Django framework to MySQL server. So use this content and we create one models. We create different models are there. Out which models? What is that? Just a minute. The models are there. So you based on you create on pages like already we are discussing that one in class location. So here different templates are there. Suppose how to run this application, cmd to take place python manage.py run server. We get the local host ID here. This local host take place to run the complete project application, and we are taking place into the so here these are the applications we are creating here. So previously we discussed about these templates. These templates are running properly. These templates are taking place to do backend. Then that time we are using this content to run to connect the backend to front end. So then that time, so which type of parameters we can use at this location. So based on that, we are set right for that particular parameters. So first of all, this is the registration page and this is login page. Login page models we have to create. Models means what is the models, what is the field lengths and characters, which type of constraints we have used here. Primary keys are there or foreign keys are there, whatever we have to mention out there here. So after complete this one, it's the connections we have to provide these connections. This connection and that models was inbuilt created the connection between the front end to back end. After that, so when we complete this process, we have to move to take place to run the application. So for example, we are taking different applications we are run here. So for example, that MySQL process we are taken almost MySQL process, and yes, this is not run by manually. That's why it's not come. Just a minute, I'll check it out. This is the project one. We have to create database. The database content is this one. We have created this one already for our instance. So here is that internship details. We are creating these tables and all. So when we run this application based on creation, so this is using taking MySQL Lite process. We are not creating this table directly. It created automatically actually. So when we're using this content, when we run the application, when we run this application, it's more like this. So here we have to check it the URLs, then you can find it what happened. So I have to give an intent only. Yes, of course. The previous content is there, I think. That's why it's not come.